It's gonna be a very good show indeed. The fridge is filled with very cold beer, we'll keep you up to speed. Everybody's feeling good, we have so much to say. The microphones are all set up, it's time to roll the tape. Our producer Brian's got the goods, sound and film alike. Our sidekick Dave is looking sharp, what's there not to like? Here comes Johnny, it's Tiki time, so crack yourself a beer. He's got some stories up his sleeve you all might want to hear. Recorded live on Saturdays, it's time for Tiki Talk. So ring that bell and pour the shots out. Let's go rage, it's time to rock out. Let's discuss your weekend blackouts. Special guest is a high school dropout. Want a host, but John won't let me. We roll until the fridge is empty. From Rockaway Beach in New York City, it's time for Tiki Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for episode 5 of Tiki Talk. And without further ado, your host, Johnny Sica.
Hey, welcome guys. Hey Bobby, how are you?
How you been, Johnny?
It's raining out there again, 2 straight days. Oh, good coffee.
And let's get right to it, because we got a hot date in the city tonight, Mr. Dave Bledsoe.
Dave, what's up, buddy? How
you
are
doing, Johnny?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
All right, quiet down, crowd.
All right. Well, Dave, you got a date tonight, huh?
Yeah, hot date.
Great, great.
Yep.
All right.
A girl, too.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
That's a change.
Change of pace. Yeah.
Change of pace.
I'm looking forward to tonight's show, Dave, because we got a great guest tonight.
Who?
A guy that I've known for probably 30-something years, but I really don't know him because we've never really had a good conversation, and I think there's a good opportunity.
All right.
Yeah, you know Geoff, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Well, without further ado, let's get the elevator cranked up and bring Geoff up from Studio 1B downstairs. Geoff? Hey, Geoff.
Hey, John, there's something wrong with the elevator.
I was wondering because it took you a while to get up.
Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
I think I fixed it.
Great to have you
Hey,
here.
Bobby.
How are we doing, Mr. Geoff?
You know Dave?
Dave, how we doing? Good to see you, man.
You got your own drink there? You're good? You're covered?
Good
to go, right?
What are you drinking, coffee?
I'm just having a little
Cup of
coffee
Joe.
here.
Wow, cup of Joe.
Yeah. There might be something in here.
Ooh, I hope so.
Well, Geoff,
There's coffee in there.
I don't know. I don't know if you heard my introduction, but me and you know each other for probably. I got this house now, 1989.
It's about when I came to Rockaway.
It's about 25 years, and you were living next door. You were my next door neighbor then.
Yeah, maybe a couple of years after that.
With
Right.
Walter, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were neighbors.
I remember this yard was just dirt.
It was dirt. Yeah, remember the half pipe? Were you here for the half pipe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was good times. And we really didn't get to know each other. I mean, I knew your artwork. We were, friendly, but in a neighborly type of way. And, yeah. Yeah. So, I think there's a good opportunity to get to know you better.
There you go.
Now, you weren't born here in America, I understand.
No, I'm a Limey.
You're a Limey.
I was born in England, in Hackney, in East London. Oh my God! That was my mother when I was born.
Where were you born?
In London.
I know, but you said...
Hackney, East London, where the cabs
Hackney?
come. Hackney, where the cabs come from.
Okay. Is that like a wealthy neighborhood?
No, it's the ghetto.
Oh, it's the
used
ghetto,
to
yeah.
used to be,
Word.
but it's a long time now. It's very gentrified now. I hear. I love
Oh,
it.
yeah,
You
it's
can
just
look.
like-
You can look on Google and you
Yeah.
see like pretty little houses with nice. Everything's painted.
Really?
Wow.
It's happening over there too, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Are they
apparently.
hipsters? Are they British hipsters?
Probably. I don't know. I haven't been there since 1979. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Been a while, huh?
Do you have family there, Geoff?
No. I was. My folks died when I was a kid, and
That's
I
it. You're
got-
on your own.
I'm on my own.
Yeah.
So that's
Let
what
me
it
ask
is.
you
The great
something.
USA.
What year did you leave there? How old were you?
I was 19. Actually, I left. I was born in 61, so I left in 79. So I was 18. I went to
18.
Berlin. I lived in Berlin briefly. Painted the Berlin Wall, actually, 89. Was locked up by Americans, believe it or not. Sent to the East. Had a whole little situation there. And then I went back to London, and it was so freaking depressing that I got out of there. And I got a free trip to California, believe it or not. And then with escorting someone. And then I traveled across the country, never got to New York. That's a whole nother story. Ended up.
Well, let's
ended
slow
up in
down. Let's slow
Miami.
down a little bit here.
All right, you want to?
Let's slow down because you've got a free trip. First of all, you said you got a free trip to California,
Yeah.
escorting somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, let me do one thing.
It wasn't
Geoff.
drugs.
Listen, I like that you're sitting next to me, but do you see the microphone
Oh,
on
this
the
is the
screen?
microphone.
Yeah,
Gotta
It's
look.
kind of blocking.
Where have I
so
gotta look?
Just move over a little to the right. So I mean,
Oh,
you got a
okay.
very pretty face, and I want to make sure that it's not obstructed. There you go.
Want to show it off?
So, what was this trip to California?
An older lady needed to get there, and she needed someone to take her there and leave her there.
Because she couldn't travel alone. She was
Yeah. She went. Yeah. So she said they'll give you open return ticket. I said.
Were
okay.
you a male escort? Is that what you're saying?
I guess so. Nothing. Whatever you want. I was getting.
You were male and you escorted us.
That's it. There you go.
Jeff was a
But- but-
male escort.
there you
Make
go.
a record show.
See, I told you, find out things on
The
the show
family
you
show.
wouldn't
It's a
know.
family show.
Family show.
Anyway, my point is,
Yes.
I never got to New York that time. But when I finally came back to New York, that's when I.
That's when we start the next part of the story.
1980. That's when.
That's when we start the next part of the story, but we're not here yet.
Oh, I'm talking about.
I want to talk about you. I want to talk about
I want to talk about
England.
England.
I don't want to talk about
I
New
don't
York
remember
right
fucking England.
Let me ask you something. You made it to 19 years old.
Except I follow Arsenal still. Yeah.
That's another thing I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
But how did you survive in England? Your parents were gone. You
My
you on
father
your own
when
pretty
I
much.
no, my father when I had an older brother. My father was I was 6 when he died. My mother I was 9 when she died. Then my grandma she was when I was 13. I was kind of institutionalized a little bit. And then I was kicked out of the whole system when I was 15, so I was basically on the street doing my artwork, working on building sites.
So you were like,
and that was the mid 70s, so it was a wild.
and that's when the movie Oliver came out. Were you kind of like Oliver?
That's me.
Are you the Artful Dodger? Or
Have some more, please.
He wants more beer. He wants a shot. Where's the shot glasses? Please, sir, may I have some more?
Can I have some more gin?
Here we go.
Shut up and drink your gin.
You can't. You want gin?
There was, we're talking Oliver Twist.
Because we have a.
We lived on
We
gin.
do have a sponsor.
Our proud
All right, let's
sponsor.
do this
Fireball.
one.
No, you can use that.
No, gin will make me sick.
All right, we'll do Fireball. That won't make you sick.
No, that'll make
because
you
that's our
strong.
sponsor.
That's our sponsor. Nothing beats Fireball.
Antifreeze.
The best.
Baby, you want one? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, man.
This is a very interesting story, Geoff. See?
There you go.
I never heard this. I don't even feel like...
I thought you went to prep school in Manhattan.
Yeah. That was when I was too old for school.
Would you paint
These are
mostly?
whispers, by the way.
What did I paint mostly? What?
Yeah, like
when I was a kid?
When you were a kid.
I started when I was 9. When my mother died, I just started painting. I started drawing. I was good at it. Everybody encouraged it. So that was my therapy, if you like. But ever since then, it was in my instinct to always create, and that's always been my.
I'll put these right over here.
I do.
Casey, would you like to join us for a shot?
Ooh, get the audience involved.
Yeah.
Audience
Yeah.
participation.
Here you go, Dave. All right. To England in the 70s,
There you go.
which is very good. All right, so let me ask you something.
Uh-oh.
So now you're on the street, actually, as a young kid. How did you make money? I mean, were you...
I worked on building sites, a lot in construction in those days. That's how it was, and I painted murals.
You painted murals. You started making money doing art.
I used to go around doing stuff. Yeah, and my neighborhood, everybody knew you.
yeah, yeah. To help
It was
you out.
different,
Yeah.
My neighborhood was mixed, It was a, and there was 70s. There was no work. There was nothing. So everybody was on the dole. And
Right.
one funny story was when I first worked on a job. All the chippies, the carpenters, the bricklayers, they were all on the dole. So they couldn't sign off on stuff. So when I'm a 15-year-old kid, I was too young for the dole. 16 was the dole. So I was knocking cement off the bricks and frickin' mixing the cement, running, And every time a delivery came, they'd have me sign, and I would take a piece of the action because I'm the only one who can legally sign because they're all taking money. If I'd been really smart,
yeah. You're the only one on the books.
if I'd been really smart, I would have made a lot more money. But I had fun.
You were naive.
But I wasn't naive, but I wasn't. I
were
wasn't
young.
an aggressive.
Right.
Whatever. So I survived that way, and always painted, and mostly storefronts. In those days, you didn't have sign companies were all guys hand painted.
It was hand painted, yeah. It
So
wasn't computerized.
I worked with some of those guys.
What about...
I worked with other artists. I worked with a sculptor in the neighborhood. He was good.
I heard you did motorcycles.
Oh yeah, I spray
Really?
painted. I spray painted tanks on the Hells Angels motor. We used to use.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is in England.
Yeah. We used to do airbrush and we'd layer it. I would do an airbrush thing, and I would put 3 layers of pearl lacquer. Pearl lacquer was like a thick lacquer you put on. So then as you went, sometimes you'd have this much lacquer and paint, different layers.
Really?
But I got tired of it because these guys would just destroy their bikes. You spend 6 months.
So when the guy died on a motorcycle
so I
accident,
can't tell you what else happened, but there was a lot of stuff happened.
so the guy dies in a motorcycle accident, and you're concerned about your paint job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Geoff just informed me that this is a family show.
Well, is it not a family? I mean, can I tell you? Well,
I don't know. You haven't seen some of the earlier episodes. We're talking about some.
All right, the kind of trades that went on for me doing the bikes was, we lived on different chemicals in those days. So there was a lot of things
We spoke
involved.
about that earlier on a previous show.
Okay.
Sunshine, when I had someone else your age.
All right. Okay. So it was an amphetamine world for like amphetamines and a lot of acetone chemicals and all that kind of shit. And
LSD?
Oh yeah, mushrooms.
Right on. Yeah.
But when I was a teenager, we kind of got hooked on the speed for a while. We were a bunch of speed kids. We thrashed around. We fucking made nuisances of ourselves, and that was what it was.
Being in England at that time.
Then you realize that it's very addictive, and your friends start jacking it up in horrible places, and people start dying, and you're like, oh my god, this is bad. So I was always an artist first. That's why I'm blessed with being creative, and I always, in the end, fuck it, I can give this up. I'm gonna, I had my own drive.
Right. Right.
There was a lot of people floated into that shit, and they never came out.
What about you were in England at a very creative period for music? Did you ever get involved with the music scene?
I loved it.
The Clash, all that stuff?
Bee Gees.
No. Dave,
the Bee Gees.
don't you have to go on a date?
Actually, now I look back at the Bee Gees thing, and they were kind of good. But I hated them back then. But
Did you understand that mods and the rocket thing? Because
that was a little before the mods and rockers was really 60s. I was 70s. We were we got labeled, I guess, generally as punk, but I don't think anyone really that I knew. Most of the music I grew up in, my neighbor was 45-50% Jamaican, and my neighbor was all reggae. And most music from England in the 70s, whether people like it or not, is based on reggae.
The Clash admits it.
Even punk itself was labeled punk or anything, But there was a lot of speed metal stuff. There was a lot of different. There was a lot of mixture. People had their different uniforms, different styles. They tried to style them, but most of us would just, especially in the East End, we were just doing our own thing. We were just like, fuck everybody else. I'm doing what I'm going to do. The cool thing about it was we had a pirate radio station, for example, and we were on the 10th floor of the English version of the project was called they called them estates. Housing estates.
In the United States, here the estate is a beautiful place.
I know. Well, in England, but they called it. They made it sound nice. Okay. Oh, it's a housing estate.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking
like Kensington and Brooklyn.
Yeah. So basically, anything above the 4th or 5th floor was completely trash and had no power, nothing. And there was it was the mid-70s. There was a lot of the junkie generation from the hippie generation were lying in the corners with needles, and fucking heroin was very cheap. And so that whole scene was there, but the younger generation, we weren't so much into that at that point, and most of the Jamaicans were into the weed, and there was a whole kind of style on the street which was much more loose at that point. So a lot of music came in. We all naively thought that, wow, we're gonna fucking crush this whole music industry because people were bringing in, coming in, making their own singles.
Were you a musician?
No, I was surrounded by them.
I
I regret that I never learned anything. I should have done, but I didn't. I was a painter. But I used to write lyrics and I would sing stuff. I would scream stuff.
Actually, I wrote lyrics recently. Me and Bobby got to cut a punk song.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
It's pretty good.
Gotta check that out.
But we'll get to that another time.
The pirate radio was a blast. That was fun.
Let me ask you, before we get on the plane and leave England, what about this soccer thing that they play over there?
It's religion over there. Yeah.
The Premier League soccer.
Yeah, in my day it was First Division. Now it's Premier League.
Yeah.
It's big money now, big money. In my day it was still, you still knew, like on Arsenal's team there, you knew most of the people who were on there. They were probably from London. Now it's international.
Oh, it was based on locally?
Originally, but you know what?
Now whoever pays
even
you the
in
high
my day it wasn't so much like that, but now it's huge. Now it's all international.
Now it's just wherever the money is, you go.
But you know what? And it's good and it's bad. In the sense that all the people who watch it now, they follow players because the players move around,
Yeah, I see
that.
that.
And I still follow my team, but I had about 20 years where I didn't follow any of it because when I came here, it was Spanish television, and you didn't have any following of it.
Right.
But now you got cable everywhere.
You can watch any game in the world. I know.
I go in my neighborhood like 8:30 in the morning. I watch 4 games.
How'd they do today?
They sucked.
That's what
They sucked. Don't even talk about it.
So the big team is Manchester always? Is Arsenal close to them?
MU?
No. Well, right this year Chelsea, who I freaking hate.
Has Arsenal ever won?
Yes,
like
Arsenal had the greatest season, and no one has beaten our season, which we had in 2006, which was a perfect season. We have, but in the last 9 years or so, we haven't done great. We're always in the top 4. You have to be in the now it's Premier League. You have to be in the top 4 teams in the Premier League, and there's lots of leagues. There's thousands of teams, so there's probably like 13, 14 leagues in England, and then there's less than that. But those there's the first division, second division, Premier, all this other stuff. So and you have other cups like the FA Cup, which we won last year, which is more about bringing teams from everywhere, and it's a little confusing. It's a whole different structure. But the top 4 teams in every country in Europe get to play in UEFA, which is the European Cup, the European League. So we've been in that every year. So we've been in the top 4.
Arsenal.
For the last, since I remember.
Really?
But this year we're number 6 right now, halfway through the season.
When they were undefeated, you followed it that year? You had it on TV?
I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't see all of it, no.
All right, let's leave England. It's boring me.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
That's fucking snotty talk.
No, I'm sorry. Nah.
It's all right.
I can't even understand freaking football, so...
No,
anyway.
American football or English football?
English.
Yeah, see, that's the real
Is that
football.
the same thing?
No.
All right. So you come to New York. Oh, you didn't go to New York. You went to California. You made your way east. I
got a free trip. I got a trip on a freaking Greyhound bus, $50, 5 days nonstop for Europeans, right?
Yeah.
So I get on in San Francisco, and I travel across the country. That was an adventure. I had a blast. They told us in San Francisco that you get on and you got this pass and you can get on and off for 6 months.
Right, so you can stop in any city you want.
and you can get off and get on again, and it's good for 6 months.
Yeah.
However, they didn't tell me that in Cleveland. Why did I get off in Cleveland? I don't know.
Oh, Cleveland wasn't involved?
Well, what I'm saying is I went zigzagged across the country, and at certain points you get off because you got aggravated. So I got off in Cleveland in 1979, which was a complete freaking desolate northern city like in England.
Go Browns. Go Browns.
Oh, yeah.
So I go back to, I realize, wow, I'm in the fucking pits here. I'm walking around. I'm at the bus station, and I say, I'm going back on. Go to get back on the bus. My bus was San Francisco, New York originally. So I was going to go to New York. And the guy says, oh, no, you can't get back on the bus. I said, excuse me? He said, no, you can't get, you got off the bus. I said, it's a 5-day pass. No, your 5 days are up.
5 days are up?
So I lost, I was
crazy.
a Cockney kid at the time. I lost my freaking mind. I started having, I just had a British pass. I just lost my mind. And in the end, they got rid of me. They put me on the next bus.
You didn't get locked up, though?
No, I didn't, luckily. But I would have been deported. But they put me on the bus and I went to Florida. So I ended up in Miami. I hung out with the Cubans, which was, because I had no money. I was just sketching. I was drawing people. I remember falling asleep on the beach and waking up like totally burned, totally like fried, like oh my god. And then in those days, West Palm Beach was still ghetto. It was still old, and I would walk across, and the cops would say, "You don't want to go over there." I said, "Yes, I do."
That's where my
exactly
people
where
are.
I want to go.
Yeah.
and then I just
people,
then I had this.
live?
So then I flew back to England because I had that open return ticket from Miami. So I never came to New York. Next thing is, I'm in England, it's depressing as hell, it's Thatcherism at its worst, it's fucking awful, and I say, I got a taste of the US. And so I jumped on a plane, bought a really cheap ticket, they used to sell them at the airport, or guys, actually on the Mall in London, they would sell tickets in the window. You'd see $80 in New York City in the next hour. So the things would change every hour.
Interesting. It's like a stock market.
Yeah, they would buy tickets on a plane coming into Heathrow. So I got on Q80 Airlines for £80 or something, and I ended up in New York City. I get out of the plane, and I had like 60 pounds on me, which was probably 100 and something in those days.
Well, that was a lot of money back then. I mean, to live on, but...
Yeah. But anyway, I get out, but still, there's a Marine at the gate. This is the difference between then and now, is what I'm saying. There's a kid with a mohawk and freaking bleached pants, and a fucking few hundred, and a couple, $100.
What year was this?
1980.
Okay.
So then I get on the freaking trip, come there, and he says, so why are you coming to New York? I said, because it's New York. I'm an artist, and he says, so who do you know in New York? I don't know anyone in New York.
Who's asking this? A Marine?
Like big, custom guy.
Oh, okay.
They look like, big fucking guy.
Yeah. Right.
And he was just laughing at me in the end, and he just said, come on, go ahead. Can you imagine that today? He gave me a few questions. He was like, this guy's crazy. Okay, go ahead. So I ended up sleeping in Central Park, and that's how I came to New York. And then once I was in the park, I moved downtown. I slept in I walked the whole of Manhattan. And I smoked in those days. I laughed because
Cigarettes?
Yeah, you could find.
They were cheap, but
you could find a cigarette every
a
full cigarette every 10 blocks, just about. It was
Really?
Yeah, you'd be walking around, you'd just like, oh, there's a cigarette. In fact, I remember there was a bum who I was trying to say to him, where can I get breakfast in this town? I need something real breakfast, because I was on the Upper West Side, and I had no idea. I was like, this is money up here. I don't know where I am. Take me. And this guy's going, yeah, man, you got a dime, man. And I said, just find me breakfast, and I'll buy you breakfast. And he was going, man, you can't go buy people breakfast in New York City. He's just rambling on me the whole time. I said, just show me where to go. So we go all the way over to the West Side.
Were you in a bum?
Yeah,
well.
And he shows me the little diner, which was in those days it was $2 for breakfast, the whole thing. So I'm like, great. So I sit down, and the whole time he's like, man, you crazy, man, you can't go. I said, don't worry, it's new, it'll come around. And we walk out, and as we're walking back, there's a bunch of yuppies come out of a bar.
You bought breakfast?
Yeah, I bought him breakfast because he showed me where to go. I didn't know this thing. So, but this is the part of the story is that we go past, and I told him it all comes around. So I go past the bar, and there he is, and a bunch of yuppies come out, and there's a $10 on the ground. I picked it up, and he was like, man, I ain't hanging with you anymore. And he fucking took off. So I was like, I love this city.
Oh my god.
So I ended up at the Lower East Side, which was the obvious choice.
Right.
And that's how I slept in gallery floors, and it was,
you met people.
Alphabet City was easy. There was you didn't pay rent. You could walk around stark naked. Nobody gave a shit.
Did you sleep in Concord Square, or you actually got in a flat?
No, I didn't need to. I
crashed with people and get a place?
Yeah. I basically found what went around the galleries in those days, and they were happy to have people sleep on the floor because it was, there was crack houses across the street. So they were happy to have some artists sleep in the place. So I would sleep on the floor. There was someone crazy middle-aged woman who she'd try and fucking climb into bed with me when she was really having. She was stanky, nasty, fucking. And I was like, oh! I was like, man.
Yeah, jeez.
Things you got to do to get a bed.
Remember, man, he's fucking unbelievable.
Gotta take one for the team.
Yeah, you got it.
So, what kind of painting were you doing then?
I was doing.
Were you doing street art to make?
Yeah, I was doing murals, but I was mostly.
Oh, murals.
Yeah, but I
were you doing like portraits and?
I did that a little bit, but I never liked portraits. The trouble with portraits is people are freaking pains in the ass. I mean, the public is the worst. You know what? That's not my nose. I know. They want to give you $10.
You should say, hey, listen, I got a camera. You want a picture?
Yeah. So, and people used to say, oh, you should get a storefront. I said, why would I get a storefront? Storefront, you're just sitting in front of the public. You got to pay rent, and they're just hassling you. Why would you do that? So I basically went into bars and clubs is how I made my living. Bars, I go to a bar and they need something, and I paint, and I do it on trade, and then I got passed around, so I came to Rockaway eventually.
You were in that book, right? The Murals of the City or something?
Yeah. I've been in
a
few books. Yes.
Yeah.
I painted a lot of the clubs. I painted the World. I painted the Palladium. I painted.
You painted a club?
I had an after hours club myself. I had a club with a bunch of us. We had a club on the Bowery called Ratio. In fact, there's a club now called Bowery Electric on the Bowery between 2nd and 3rd. It was a block from CB's in my day. And that club was actually my landlords, and they were two old Jewish guys who had an electric company, and we had the loft upstairs. Me and 5 girls. I hooked up with one of the girls, and I was the builder. So they were called the Fishnet Crew, and they were hot girls. They were and we paid very little rent. And I just started building stuff. And NYU was putting their stuff up down there in those days. They were taking over the neighborhood. Everybody hated NYU. Which makes me laugh at frickin' Spike Lee and his gentrification comments. He was gentrifying the neighborhood right there with his little film school shit. Right there, kicking everybody out. So we took all that plywood and we ran it up the stairs and we built our own club out of it.
Oh, that was it?
It was upstairs, right.
It's like the Tiki Bar.
Yeah, but it was big. It had second, and we paid. It was $10 at the door, and we had an open bar.
Really? It was legit?
Well, it wasn't.
I only charged $5 here, and it's fucking 30 years later.
Yeah, we had Madonna, all those people used to come in. There was only like five after hours in those days. That was a whole different scene, man. It was you watched the whole but I didn't realize how quickly gentrification was going to happen. Because I didn't really buy it.
Imagine if you bought
by the 80s, late 80s, it just moved so fast. We were like, what the fuck?
What the fuck happened?
Everybody went to Williamsburg, and that's how I came to Rockaway. It was because I was working in bars, clubs, restaurants.
Right.
And some of the bar owners out here had places in Woodside or in the Bronx. So that's really where. So the truth is, that's how I made most of my living was doing that. But when the club thing was at its peak, we had you know what it is for me, in the mid-70s in London, there was a really good time, about 2 or 3 years, where you do anything you fucking wanted. And it was like things were happening. The 80s was like that in New York for me. Lower East Side, it was a wild scene. Just about like 83 to 86, 87, do whatever you want.
I remember, yeah.
Crazy,
It was that way all over the city. It was
shit.
great.
That was, and cocaine
We
ran
used to
everything.
smoke joints
The
in the freaking subway. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah,
And drinking beers.
yeah. Nobody gave a shit. Different world.
So how did you get to Rockaway?
That's what I'm saying. It was mostly
So
bars.
who is it? Is it one person?
Well, actually, believe it. You want to hear the truth of who called
No, we don't tell the truth on this show.
It's all lies.
The truth is the beautiful, respectful Palm Gardens.
Palm Gardens.
Oh yeah.
Owen
Palm Gardens.
I
Wow.
get a call, right?
Be nice.
I get a call from, oh yeah, I have a bar in Rockaway, and I really need someone to paint, and I see you did a great job, and I'm like, okay, where's Rockaway? And he says Rockaway Beach. I said, okay, it's a Ramon song. I have no idea what. So
Fair enough.
Then he gives me instructions, and I've been out all night on Friday night,
Right.
and it's early Saturday morning. And I'm like on the train like this nodding, and I wake up, I kid you not, and it's a misty day like this, and I'm over the water, and I'm the only person in the train. I was like,
What is this place?
I thought I'd been deported. I was like, what are they doing to me? I freaked out. And I'm walking around, and the guy gave me instructions, change at Broad Channel. And I'm like, Broad Channel? And then the train just keeps going, and I'm like, I am fucking shitting myself. I don't know what's going on. There's nobody on the train. And so
Sounds about
finally
right.
this misty place shows up called Broad Channel. I get out, and I'm like, there's one guy over there. And I'm like, wow. So it says, get on the shuttle. So I get on the shuttle. I come to 116th Street. So this is 1980. So 116 there was still kind of, bums hanging around on the.
Oh
on the
yeah,
corner.
why that's not happening anymore?
Well, no, not like it was then. They were
Yeah.
they were sleeping on the platform there.
Yeah.
It's like now you got the people in the homes. But anyway, so I follow the instruction. I go around the corner, and it's the Palm Gardens. It's 9 in the morning on a Saturday. I walk in. There's about 7 old Irish dudes knocking back shots. And I'm the fucking limey. So
Yeah, you're on Limey, so you know all about that lifestyle.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. So I got to know all the old Irish characters of Rockaway very quickly, and Owen was a character himself.
Hey, let me ask you something.
What a character. So that was my first summer. I went back to downtown. I went back and forth a few times, and then I ended up.
Let me ask you something about this Irish English thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're Irish and this guy's English, I really can't tell the difference as an American.
Yeah.
But when you walk into a bar with all these Irish guys, do they know you're English? Just by the way you talk or anything?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, absolutely. But you know what?
Is it the accent?
Yeah, and the attitude, but maybe a little, not really. But you know what it is in England? Actually, there's such a class system in England, and some people are going to disagree with me, but I grew up with it. My neighborhood was very mixed and everything, but the Irish and working English get on fine.
Right.
There's a class.
Because we're both in the same
So when you hear that snotty English accent, my back of my neck goes up as well.
Right.
And the same with the Irish people. But when I came to America, as soon as I heard an accent, the American Irish say, "Oh, fucking Brit," and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, go here."
Right.
So straight away it was like they had an attitude because they've been conditioned to have an attitude, and they really don't know. Well,
They don't know because they didn't look at
I
it.
got a job on a I used to shape up for the moving company
Right.
on 2nd Street down in the Lower East Side. And you get there at like 5 in the morning, you stand outside. Third day,
Yeah.
they put you on the
Shape
truck, right?
Yeah.
So 2 American big guys, ex-Vietnam guys, they're fucking with me the whole time. And I was very quiet, and there was one other Irish kid, who called them, they used to call them narrowbacks. It was the first time I heard that word. But,
What do they call them?
They call them Irishmen called Irish Americans are narrowbacks.
Narrowbacks?
And
I've
it's
never heard
something-
that one.
Yeah, it's an old one. But anyway, so and an Argentinian guy and a couple other people, and we're all on the trip. But these guys keep busting my fucking balls with a job, and I'm cool. I can take shit. But they're lowering piano and they're saying, fucking. So I'm a quiet guy, you know me, but if you push me in a corner, I'll fucking explode. I lost my mind, and I grabbed this fucking guy, and I said, what do you fucking know about that fucking British fucking government? They've been up my ass all my fucking life. You're a spoiled New York motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. And he was like, and the Irish kid just started clapping and laughing.
Yeah, the real Irish
they
kid,
left me
yeah.
alone. They left me alone.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
That's great.
I mean, if an Irish kid,
Like, what is wrong with you? You're fucking retarded.
if you talk to somebody and tell them where you grew up, they know, an Irish kid would know, fucking, this guy's,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying there's not prejudices there. There
Yeah.
are, but it's not the same as an automatic instinctive here that there's. Oh, he's a Brit. They don't. It's like everyone mucks in.
So when you got to Rockaway,
Yep.
did you say this is the place I want to be? I mean, you saw the beach.
Not at
or-
all. Not
Did
at
you
all.
ever stay in the beach in England or anything? Were
No,
you-
no, it's my first beach experience. I didn't swim in the water the first year I was here. I was like, what are these people swimming? This is New York City. You're not swimming.
What made you stay in Rockaway? When you went to the Palm Garden, you didn't stay there. You went back.
I stayed in the Baxter's Hotel.
No way.
I swear to God.
Baxter's, are you serious?
He owned it, yeah.
Well, it was John and Owen. They put me up in the hotel. So what happened
How long
was,
did it
every
take
time I went back to Lower East Side, it was destroyed. Plus, to be honest with you, my period of my life, we had all been cokeheads, and the whole business was around cocaine, and it just collapsed. Like everything around cocaine collapses at some point. It builds up.
Yep.
And the girl I was with had become a junkie, and so there was a whole heartache thing going on there too. She disappeared into the fucking nowhere zone, and most of my friends, and I was like, I'm just a survivor. That's what I do. So I came out here, and I just started doing my thing here, and I found, it's like it was ghetto on the beach. It was great. It was easy. I used to go to Danny's. Do you remember Danny's bar?
No.
Danny's and Duffy's, they were fucking zoos. It was hysterical. But Danny got a pool cue through his head. That's how he got killed in the end.
Yeah. Where was that? A 116 bar?
It was the one on the left before you got to the sandbar, and it was just completely dirty. There was no door on it. You could do cocaine right on the bar, and the toilet doors were open. There was bikers,
Classy place?
Yeah, it was classy. It was classy. It was classy.
You never went there, Dave?
But,
No.
But there was a girl that I was hanging out with from the Lower East Side who always wore black, and she had the goth look, and I was always on a ladder. So they used to call me Spider-Man, and they called her Batwoman. So we were Spider-Man and Batwoman. And she attacked one of the bartenders one of the bartenders said that she was, this typical nasty shit, said with her overhearing that I was pimping her. This was typical fucking prejudice shit. People, no, look at these fucking, he's pimping her. And she launched herself across the bar and pulled the bartender over the bar. So it was great. So it was like, that was, and I did nothing.
So she
I
was
just
that woman.
Well, she was a bad one, but she just wasn't going to tolerate that shit.
Well, you did mention something that you just breezed right over.
What was that?
Danny got killed by a pool stick?
Pool stick through his head. That was the way. That's how rough it was. It was rough.
Yeah.
Man. It was like Lower East Side. That's what people don't understand.
They call it a bucket of blood.
Yeah, and Duffy's. I used to work on Baxter's porch and Baxter's Hotel. I was painting murals, and the two other hotels either side were all halfway houses for Rikers. People talk about the streets. They have no idea, man. These people were just bashing anybody over the head. Anybody walked by, oh, boom, take the shit. And you watch them, and there was no cops. There's nothing. So Duffy's was all white trash, crackheads, and they were all in there getting drunk.
Great bar.
They were coming in there, they were coming out, and I used to watch women fly out of the bar on the sidewalk, and I'm like, wow, I never really saw that before. Beating up women just on the crash. And I'm like, wow, they're beating up the women in there. That's fucking crazy. So one night, so I stayed away from Duffy's a little bit. I was like, it's a little weird for me. I mean, I've been in all kinds of bars, but that was a little crazy. So then I see one day there's a whole lot of noise going on in the street, and there's a bunch of these big, beefed up ex-Rikers, black dudes on the street like this, and there's all this white trash out there, and they're all fucking screaming, there's gonna be a war right here. You know how it stopped? 3 fucking large limousines pulled up. Big black dudes come out, long coats, their rings on, had the rings all across in those days. They walk up to the black dudes, they start talking to them. Black dudes all go back in the hotel, everybody goes home.
Really?
I was like, wow, this is the police on 116th Street. In other words, don't fuck with your customers. You're selling these people the crack. Don't fucking kill them now, because these guys were gonna die. It was like, there was twice as many Irish trash, but they were gonna die. Because it was just obvious they were not.
No,
they were ready for this, but they weren't ready for boom for that.
Yeah.
What is this, the 80s?
This is 1990, probably.
Yeah. I remember 116th being crazy.
89,
Yeah, I remember it being really
89,
bad back then.
And so the end of that
I was really
story is
young,
I go into Duffy's one day and I brave it up and I got I'm tanked up and it's a sunny day and I go in Duffy and Frank Duffy was his little steamed up glasses, he was always like this. He never looked at anybody. He was just busy, and all these people in there at the bar and these women are like this and the guy the whole time, and after about half an hour the guy just goes
Wow.
And they just drag them out because it's like, and I realized, wow, this is just their lifestyle. There's no way that this woman is not gonna stop. She is not gonna stop. You have to put her on
There's
conscious
no fear.
because she is not gonna stop. And they had no teeth. It was like, wow,
Oh my goodness.
So there was a whole generation of that crew that just vanished in a few years. They were all gone.
So,
Am I saying way too much here, guys?
no, it's freaking fascinating.
It's cool. It's cool. I like it.
coolest
I like
thing I've heard
it.
of this
Yeah,
show.
The other
I like
side,
it.
the other side of Rockaway was meeting the cool people up here who took care of me.
Well, that's more of like modern times. So
But I painted all the. See what my way of survival always was painting. Whenever I went to a certain neighborhood, I would start painting, and people see you and they hire you. Like Lower East
Right.
Side, it was all clubs.
you do one thing and
So
somebody
I did
sees
the
it.
Pyramid Club, I did the Aztec Lounge, I did
Right.
Pink Touch Wawa Hut, I did all of the Sidewalk Cafe. There's only a few of them left down there, but I did all of that. There was a club called The World, which was fantastic. Beastie Boys played there. Frankie Knuckles played there, but people would get shot on the dance floor by the end of it. It was those scenes kind of changed, and it's hard to explain that to people. That's the psyche. So in Rockaway, like any other neighborhood, I started painting. I was up and I painted Tommy Senna's surf shop. Next thing, the guy across the street went there.
Right.
And Rockaway being the small town it was,
Yep.
And then there's people in Rockaway who have other businesses back in the city, so he went back.
Beautiful, yeah. What about the hipster movement in Rockaway?
I like it.
Are they receptive to you? I mean, as far as your paintings?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. I got no problem with hipsters.
There's a laundromat on 116th Street that you paint all of Rockaway across the whole wall. And there's like
the bay one side and the beach the other.
There's people playing volleyball. I always thought that was a...
you're in there. Yeah.
It's definitely.
I knew that.
It's Trisha.
Well, let me ask you something. You have this boat.
Oh, the Dragon Boat.
The Dragon Boat. How did that come about?
The
Tell us about the Dragon Boat. I think
great...
at this point, when Brian's editing, I want to see a picture of the Dragon Boat in it because it is something to see.
It's pretty wild.
Okay, well, the Dragon... I can't take credit for the Dragon Boat, and so I take credit for inheriting it, but it was actually created by the mind of a guy called Papa Neutrino. David, what was his last name again? Anyway, his daughter or one of his family and someone else actually built it, but his whole concept was creating boats out of garbage and living on them, and basically you don't have to pay rent, you live on the water. And the irony of this for me in my particular piece of this is that when I lived in Manhattan back in the 80s, I used to paint some of the bars, Irish bars down in
Financial?
Stone Street?
Yeah,
Stone Street?
Chamber Street, around those areas, right?
Okay.
So, and we would go across where's the big something city that was built there that's all apartments now. Anyway, in those days, the West Side Highway was like an airport.
Battery Park City?
Battery Park City,
yeah.
right? They were being built. And there was a bunch of old docks out there, and there was tiki huts like this on the fucking docks. And parties going on, and there was people living on boats below who were playing music. Turns out that was Papa Neutrino, and I saw them, So
you saw them at the time?
Yeah, but 20 years further on, I'm in Mike Tuberty's bungalow in Broad Channel, Friday night painting, and in January of some kind, and the boat comes in, silhouetted, comes in out of nowhere.
As a dragon?
As the dragon. Papa Neutrino was on it, and he got pulled in, so Mike took it over for a while, because Papa was a gypsy, he found friendly artists. He said, I'm going to go to, he went down to South America to teach the Brazilian kids how to live on boats. His whole mission was to teach people to live on boats.
What year is this?
So this is the late 90s, I think.
Is this
really?
I don't know Papa Neutrino. Is he?
He's dead.
Passed?
He's
yeah.
passed, but he's
Is he much older than?
he's
us?
probably 70-ish.
If he was
he would have been
alive,
70.
he'd
He
be
died
70.
2 years ago. They had a beautiful funeral for him in New Orleans. But he actually grew up in San Francisco, I think. But he traveled around. He was a character. You can Google. You can look up floating neutrinos. And his whole history there. He's in the Guinness Book of Records. He crossed the Atlantic. In fact, he said
on a dragon?
No, on a similar boat. He crossed the fucking Atlantic.
We can't even get across the bed.
And his wife Betsy filmed it and brought it back and showed it to us. So anyway, Mike took over the boat for a while, and then it became a headache for him. So then I took it over, and my friend Jan and all of our crew, we all became involved in it. So I just became the captain, and now it lives at Thai Rock most of the time because Robert loves it there. And the good thing is that the Thai people love dragons. It's a good luck sign. So all the staff love it. They go, if the dragon goes, they go, "Where's the dragon?" So it has its little home, and we have fun on it. And we've renovated it, we've rebuilt it many times, but it's a floating artwork for sure. You want me to show you on here?
No, we're going to show it on the screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I got a really
We'll
good
put up
I got some really
Neutrino
good
too,
shots.
pictures.
What does this say here? Underneath Dragon Boat.
Oh, Mermaid Parade, and then just
Mermaid Parade, yeah. Mermaid Parade is great.
Champions.
Champions!
Oh, is the trophy in yet? Where the hell
I thought
is
the
that?
trophy got lost, didn't it?
No, that was
On
the
the Dragon
Dragon.
Boat.
Oh, it's on the
it is
Dragon
on the
Boat.
Dragon Boat.
You know, because actually next summer we were thinking, you know how shows go on location? We were thinking of having a tiki talk from the Dragon Boat.
There you go.
Oh, that would be great.
That's a great idea.
Technology's there.
We take it right out to sea.
We can have aquatic
we can have a couple of bands.
Escort us.
Yeah. We'll have the
kayak
house
is
band is the other guys.
Yeah,
Rat Trap.
They are the house.
They're the house band for that.
They're the house Dragon Boat band.
Yeah, in fact, that's why I got a really good shot on there of them playing on the roof this summer.
I remember. I got a good shot of them too.
Their music just goes with the Dragon
Definitely,
Boat. Like
definitely.
it's got the feel, you know?
We got to have
So what else we want to
a
talk
couple
about?
of those guys on the Dragon Boat. I mean, on the Dragon Boat. On the show.
Yeah, of course. We should have more.
Yeah.
When they finish their next album, we'll do.
Yeah.
They're working on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're working hard. They're getting a lot done. It sounds
What did
good.
you say that thing said?
I think the Bronx. Just
Oh, yeah. What is this other thing? What does that say?
Mermaid Parade.
Oh, the Mermaid. Yeah, tell me about the Mermaid Parade.
Well, the
You're
mer-
involved with it as well?
Yeah. I kind of, me. I like to build the float. I've always been a float guy, and Brian's Auto always lent us the float, his truck, and we build it. And we've been in it probably 8 years, 10 years, maybe.
yeah.
At least. Probably more actually. Time just goes. But we won a different. In fact, we won the music when I think Lou Reed was the king and queen. Lou Reed and Laurie Anderson were the king and queen, and in the culture with the band, and we won the music prize.
Yeah.
Last year we were the best float, which was great.
Yeah.
And they gave us a dinky stupid little trophy.
I know.
In the past years, they made beautiful handmade mermaid. Well, there's one in Connolly's right now that's stood behind the bar.
I know. I've seen it.
And
I can't believe it.
My opinion, and I've been to a lot of parades, my opinion, and I'm biased, is that the Mermaid Parade is the best New York City parade. I don't care what you talk about a Halloween
And you're talking
parade.
about hundreds of parades.
Yeah,
And some of the worst.
but the
St.
most-
Patty's? Are you serious?
Halloween
Yeah, the
and
most-
Thanksgiving, though.
The best, most creative, fun parade, exciting parade is the Mermaid Parade. It's like Roman games.
Let me ask you.
You get out there and everybody's just insane. It's hot and everybody's half naked and covered in paint and it's insane. It's very good.
It is. What about every year you change the float? You make it a different thing?
Every different thing.
You construct it?
I do most of the construction. A lot of these guys. Casey came up with the theme last year, right? What was the Polar Vortex?
Oh, that's right, Polar Vortex. Yeah.
The winning theme.
So you know what it is. I let the people decide.
other
and then
creative
I'll just,
people, yeah.
And I'll be the backbone of building it.
We're gonna do punk next year.
Yeah. Like
Really? Maybe our song will debut that.
Fuck the mermaids. Fuck them.
So,
Why
Hurricane.
hasn't my mermaid got a hole? That's what I want to know. Why can't I fuck the mermaid?
This is a family show, isn't it? Dave, this is a
Why
family
can't
show.
mermaids have families?
Oh, no, we said
Oh,
it
because
wasn't.
they're silkies. That's right.
I had to check with the producer. We didn't mention that Brian wasn't here tonight.
Yeah, Bry's at the firehouse.
Oh, wait a second. What's going on?
We're going on the longest Tiki episode right now. This is good.
Hey, you can't stop it. We got,
it's good energy.
we're almost out of
I
beer.
agree,
It's just
I
that we
agree.
stocked up this time.
Our proud sponsor.
Thank God we don't have a time slot anywhere to fit into.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even released it yet.
So you just go on air with this thing? You just put it on?
Nothing
Put it on
yet.
YouTube?
Nothing yet.
Live
We really,
right now.
we haven't done it yet. Yeah, we just put it on YouTube, but we haven't told
We haven't
anybody.
even made a link to it.
Oh, good.
We didn't put it on Face. We didn't put it on anything yet. We're just getting it together. Casey, come and join us.
When are we going to start ass book? That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna wait until I get the ass book. I'm waiting until I get the notice that I have tenure, then we'll put it online.
Yeah, there's been a lot of topics that we're not ready for prime time. Now, let's talk about... That was a good shot. Do you know something about Fireball, that it's made with antifreeze? Did you read that?
Did you hear about that?
No, I believe it though. Tastes like it.
That's why they sponsor it.
Antifreeze and the cinnamon. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Cinnamon stick, antifreeze. We used to snort that as kids. We would spray it into the lids, and it's like 80% ether. It's great.
I thought we were going to cover that the next time you're on the show, but okay.
Long streams of snot coming down. Bad. Teenage angst.
So, Geoff, Hurricane Sandy hit Rockaway, as you know. It was traumatic.
I know. I was here.
Yep, of course. And the thing is, it changed your life. Didn't you have to find a new place to live?
Yeah, ultimately, yes. I chose to as well. You know,
Yeah.
in some ways, life has its chapters, and I really, for me personally, I've been president of Rockaway Artists for 15 years. I've been very much involved in the community, and I really wanted to focus on my art anyway. So Sandy kind of did me a little bit of a favor too. It kind of bumped me, and I really wanted to get back to just having my own space, doing my art, and focusing on that.
Right. You got too wrapped up in too many things.
Yeah,
and
too much
became-
politics
yeah.
here too for me. Just
I know.
when you walk down the street, there's a million things that and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I love it, and there's no
You want to
disrespect.
escape
I
and
just
start over again.
I just needed to be me, the artist, and
Do
do
you
my
think
thing.
that when
So-
you start over, it gets your creative juices going
oh,
again?
absolutely. It's got everything aside. Yes, absolutely. And I had plenty of fantastic experiences here. I've met great people, and I learned a lot from everybody. But I needed to go back to being me, so I was looking at places, and Brooklyn is so freaking expensive now.
Right,
it's
that
become,
my
yeah.
friend said, go look in the South Bronx. So I was like, wow. It was,
You always look for the ghetto.
I look for the cheapest place for the space.
Well,
Yeah, ghetto. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a ghetto. It's more.
Yeah.
I feel more at home. It's more relaxed for me. I don't like people.
it wasn't that you were looking for,
So the last spot in New York really is the South Bronx. Now you look at the price wise. It's only $1 a square foot, which in my day was a lot of money, but today it's not much compared. But already the building next to me went for 31 million. So I'm like, But
it's gonna happen.
It's
there
going to
as
happen
well.
there probably, but I'm hoping not as quickly or as devastatingly, only because it's a very isolated spot in the sense that you've got all of Hunts Point over here, which is all industrial, and you need It's, the city feeds on that, and you've got so many projects all around that it's very hard
Right.
to totally. But they've
Maybe
done
that's
it.
why
They've done it
Rockaway
in
will be-
fucking Bushwick. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Fall Rockaway.
Bushwick is $2 a square foot. And now the hipsters in Williamsburg are complaining about the other hipsters.
I heard there was
Funny,
a news today.
hipster murders. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's have a
The
hipster war.
the richer
I'm
hipsters.
stirring it up. I'm going in there dressed as Hasidic now, saying, "Oh, the fucking hipsters taking my property."
We should do that for the very afraid Hasidics.
Remember they did that in Broad Channel? That was
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
That was not good.
Didn't go so well.
Yeah. So tell me about your new neighborhood in the South Bronx.
It's cool. I'm in an industrial building, so it's lofts. It's live-in lofts.
That's nice.
Yeah, my
great for an
elevator.
artist.
I can put a truck in the elevator.
It's great for an artist.
Yes, it's good. It's mixed. The little strip where there's a few little bars down there. It's got every kind of people hanging out in there. And
You're on 3rd Avenue and 100 something?
134th Street. I look out my window. I look on the 3rd Avenue Bridge. So I walk over the 3rd Avenue Bridge.
Wow.
I'm in East Harlem.
Right.
And East Harlem is gentrifying to some degree, but not.
Yeah.
But
Yep, I've
not
been
that
up
I
there
want
as well.
that. But it's
No,
great.
but I'm just saying.
I get breakfast in East Harlem for $3,
Yeah.
full breakfast. In
Do
my
you-
neighborhood now, there's one little fancy restaurant which is like $10 for breakfast. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not good. But it's like
Geoff, Dave, have you ever been to Jeff's apartment?
No, I don't believe so.
No. How about you, Bobby?
I haven't been to the apartment, but he had a show, and
In his
I played
neighborhood?
music at it. It was
Yeah.
at a local bar.
that cool
Yeah.
little bar.
His
Right?
new stuff is cool, man.
Yeah?
We should talk.
I was
about
looking
his
at some
stuff,
of the
but
pictures, yeah.
We'll put it up on the thing.
As a matter of fact, I want to
I'm a
mention,
mixed media
Jeff
guy
was
mostly.
showing me the Playland Hotel. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
that.
Oh,
I saw
that
that.
was so
It
He
looks
cool.
did this
fantastic.
room,
Fantastic.
which is like,
see that?
yeah, it's amazing. We're going to show it up on the screen. Bro, I put it up on the screen now.
All right, Brian.
All right,
But
you know what?
amazing.
It's true. Really, we've been talking about my murals, how I make a living, but really, what I do, my love is my actual art, my canvas work, and my mixed media. Mixed media has been my thing always since I was a kid, but I have so much of it now that as its own fine art, that's really what I do.
What is mixed media?
Mixed media is for me. I call it media blend because I have in my studio. I have piles of different colored things. Like if I find a pink piece of toy on the ground, it goes in the pink pile. If I find a blue gum
Okay.
wrapper that shines, so everything is done based on color, and the object doesn't matter. So
Right.
then, when you create something artistic, you're using that object as something in your artwork, and it. So
Well,
it
what
gives-
is it? Is
gives
it like a
another
canvas
dimension.
that you're taping it?
No.
Oh my God!
No,
Sorry.
it's mostly wood, mostly wood back or
I didn't catch
Wood.
that.
Okay, wood, and you
Yeah,
fix
like
these things?
Yeah, I fix
But
them. They come
it's
out.
painting
They come
something?
out.
Is it painting
it's
something?
paint and glue and.
But I'm
and
saying, is it
spray
creating
foam.
an image with these
Yeah,
with these different pieces?
it's lots of images over top of each other. I like layered stuff.
Good catch.
I like stuff that you can look at and go. You can look at it and go, oh, look at that. There's a freaking there's a bird in there that I didn't even know was in there. The idea to me, what I'm going intuitively putting stuff down, and the communication of it is that other people see stuff that I don't see, and they appreciate it for different. This is why I don't
Is
talk
this on
about
that
it.
webpage or we can put it up on the screen?
It's on the Tumblr.
Yeah,
There's some good stuff.
Yeah.
You got to go further deep into it.
Is there any examples of that in Rockaway, or is this something more for,
Not really.
No?
No, because here people really wanted the paintings.
Is your studio in your loft where you're living?
Yes, it's a live-in loft. Yes,
Do you think that we could visit that
You could.
unrelated to the show?
absolutely.
I'd like to go there.
Yeah, we'll go there one time.
Pretty
Sure,
cool.
please
Yeah.
come do a story out of that. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Christmas break.
There's some cool little spaces coming up. Like what's nice for me is like I was talking about cycles, but when I was in the Lower East Side, you see, you don't really know what you've got in life until it's gone, like the song says. But Lower East Side, we had no idea what we had because we didn't think it was gentrified like that. Like there was space every.
Right. You
would
thought that was gonna be forever.
We would walk into empty buildings and just have fun. There would be empty carcasses of buildings, and you just start doing art and you play music. Now there's a few little spots left in the South Bronx which are not
That'd be
totally like that, but the people who own the buildings have got basically semi-industrial things going on in there. They got businesses running like making blinds, fixing cars. So when they have an empty space and the artists go in, they go ahead.
Jeff, I got a pee.
So
Where you go?
I got a pee, man. Hold that thought.
Yeah, is bathroom? All right.
Well, you can tell us the thought. Fuck him.
Go off. As you were saying?
So there are some cool, like one of my neighbors, turns out he's from fucking South London, which is ironic.
Really?
He rented a space, which is right on the street, and it's a little corner street that I got down there, and you lift up the garage door and there's a whole lower area, and he's turning it into and he's picking my brain all the time. He's younger than me, but he's always like, well, how can I run a bar, and I'm like, so I tell him the old tricks of how to not create enemies by doing or create problems with the city. by you know, because you have a party there and you fuck it all up. You can't have a party until 4 in the morning.
What is he, younger?
He's older than you, but I'm in my 50s. He's in his 40s, early 40s. But he knows the deal. But he figured out that he wanted to just do more of a social space for the local artists and the local places over there. And the trick is don't fuck it up right away. Like, for example, Playland did last year with their back by having raves in the back of the thing when there's people living there. It's like, guys, if you're gonna have a great space, don't fucking stay up all night and let people go nuts, because the neighbors aren't gonna like it.
You also gotta pay your musicians.
There you go. So what I'm saying is, in a neighborhood like mine, where there are a lot of, there's a lot, it's the barrio, So if you start encouraging wild parties at night, you're gonna get wild fucking parties at night. There's going to be lots of people showing up with vehicles and guns and drugs and shit and having fun, and you don't want to encourage that. You want to have a balance. You don't want to turn those people away, but you want to say, okay, we're gonna have some creative stuff going on here. We've got a microphone. You can do. We'll have an open mic. Organize it a little. Don't just say there, because then you're going to get shut down immediately. And so that's what's starting to happen a little bit in my neighborhood. There's some interesting little spaces showing up, and people are trying to be creative.
Well, I'm starting to suspect that Johnny might have taken an Irish exit.
You think so? I mean, honestly, it doesn't sound like him.
Geoff was talking there for a bit. He said he was peeing the bathroom.
I don't know. I hear the elevator's coming.
Right before we, because we're probably going to have to wrap it up. There's no Johnny, there's no show. Well, do you have any events coming up or anything you want to plug before the cameras turn off? We're going to put your webpage up and whatever.
Yeah, nothing specific.
All right. We better get something
just
going.
Check my Tumblr, JeoffRowling.tumblr.
Very great.
All right. So long, baby.
Cheers.
Geoff Rawling.